All right. Hi, my name's Brandon with Heavenly Run Ministry. My wife's behind the camera. If you hear any noise, I have Stella, I have Quinny playing in the background, talking, looking. We have dogs. Obviously, I've said it before. I have, if you can see her, Joy behind me. I have Corbin at my feet and David at my feet. Sadie's over there in the corner, and we have the other 5 dogs in the living room down here. Felicity yelled hi. We were back at my parents' and my in-laws' door. The Lord had opened that door back up again. That my parents' house. Sorry, my parents' house. And the Lord has opened that door back up again. We went to a hotel on Saturday night. A lot of things happened, and we came here to my parents' house. We went back out to the car, and my car was dead. We wound up having to jump it for church. We got there to the church, and then we came back, and my wife and I, we got a hotel because of the situation that happened on Saturday. They gave us a free night at another hotel, so we went and we stayed there, and we thought we were going to hit the road again. And we woke up the next morning. Unfortunately, the car wouldn't wake up. It lost its battery again. And when we got here to I had my mom come pick us up and jump us. I drove it here, I shut it off, and I'm seeing that my dash lights, my cluster lights are staying on. And for some reason, the computer's not telling those lights to shut off. And it's making our battery die. So I'm not exactly sure how to fix that right now. And I know if we hit the road, I need to find something that can jump us every morning. Someone said about computer because of moisture and stuff, and I could see that because when we sleep in our car at rest stops and whatnot, there is a lot of moisture that builds up in that car, and unless we keep a window open when it's cold out, it would get kind of chilly, so we keep the windows closed. So I'm not exactly sure what to do about that, and the Lord hasn't given us quite the plan yet. Right now so that's why we're at my parents'. And I'm glad the Lord opened that door back up. I can help my parents out again. My dad isn't too well on health. He has eyesight problems and hearing and walking. And so, yeah.
Not that we don't pray for him.
Yeah, not that we don't pray for him. I wanted to do this video. I know last time I did a video, I seemed down. We were at a tough spot, and I feel like it just keeps getting tougher. But I found this joy. I know in Philippians 4:11 that what Paul talks about. I had Ezekiel 4. I'll come back to that. Philippians 4:11 says this. Give me a second. There you go. Not that I am referring to being in need, for I have learned to be content with whatever I have. I know what it is to have little. I know what it is to have plenty. In any and all circumstances, I have learned the secret of being well fed and of going I've learned the secret of being well fed and of going hungry, of having plenty and of being in need. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. In any case, it was kind of you to share in my distress. But I know I found joy in the things that we've done and the things that we do. There are times where it's hard, and there's times where, like right now, I had one fussy kid fussing at the other. If you just heard that in the background. They're bickering at which couch you want to sleep on, because that's what we have right now. We have 3 couches we lay on, and we have a hammock in the one corner, one big sofa, 2 love seats, and every now and then one of them will take turns sleeping with my mom or with my dad because they sleep in separate rooms, or wherever they feel like they want to sleep at the moment. So yeah, when I did that last video, I was down. We had nothing. I actually had just ran out of gas on the highway. the Lord sent someone behind me to give me enough gas to get to the gas station. When I got there, we were able to gather $12 together to stick in my gas tank, which only gave us like 3 or 4 gallons of gas, which got us to the rest stop. And the kids we were kind of chilly, but we were able to start the car because of not having enough gas, and just a whole bunch of stuff was going on. But while I was walking from our car to use the restroom at the rest stop, I just had this joy that came over me, and I started singing and I started yelling, the Lord is going to bless us with an RV. He's going to give all the things He told us He's going to give us. The finances are coming. My bank account is not in the negative, is in the positive. And I just started proclaiming this stuff, and I was so full of joy. And I remember about ready to hit where the restroom is to enter, and there's a gentleman. I hit the corner, and he looked at me so strange. And I walked in, and then I came back out, and I felt the same way, and I did that until the whole way I got to the car, opened the door, and our friends David and Wendy and Mike and Dana were on the other end with my wife, asking what's wrong and what we're down to financial-wise. And I just remember laughing and said, we may be down on finances and everything else, but I'm full of joy, and and I was just so happy. And then we got a call from Scott and Sharon, right? Mm-hmm. Sharon, and what they were going to do for us, and they told us to go look at in our mailbox, and they blessed us. And on there we were talking, and they said they heard my last video and how down I seemed, and I gotta admit I was down. I saw, I would start looking at my natural eyes rather than my spiritual eyes. And the Lord got us the whole way back here to Pennsylvania, and with all said and done, and we got our car insurance paid, and we got half of our car payment paid, and we were able to use the rest of the money to get back to where we're at here. And we got some car fixing to do, and we're just praying for that money to come in, and for the money to come in with the RV. I know it's coming in. I know. I don't know how, but I know it's coming, and I know it's only from Him. So, I know a lot of people wasn't going to go here, but I feel like I have to. A lot of people have criticized, especially family members of me, about not, about me not having a normal job. I did have a normal job. I had a job at the post office, and the Lord told me to leave it. And I didn't want to. I actually tried to keep it. Before that, I had a job at Rivers. Before that was AutoZone. And then before that, I worked there's times I worked 3 jobs. I had Rivers. I did, one time I did AutoZone, the library at school, and I think it was Wise. There was a time I had 3 jobs I'd done at one shot. So I did work. I did do all that. And so actually doing this is quite different than whatever I've ever had to explain or have ever done. And so sometimes I do get to the point that I'm not too sure what to do. And I go back to where it says about a man, if he doesn't work with his hands, he shouldn't eat. But then the Lord sent me to these verses. It's about when Jesus sends out the 12 apostles. And he says this in Matthew 10. Let's go with 8, and I'll read down. I'll go with 7. It says, and this is what the Lord has told me to do, and my family. And a guy at the rest stop, just before all that happened, had told me that the Lord has called me out to be a preacher. Stop denying what I am. You're a preacher. You're going out and you're sharing. Doesn't mean you're a pastor, but you're a preacher. You're a preacher of the gospel. And so accept that. And so accept what the Lord has called you to be. And I want to thank Warren for that message, because I needed that. And so this is what I'm going to do. This is what I'm going to read. Like I said, it's Matthew 10, verse 7. And I'll tell you what the end is then. And as you go, preach this message. Heaven's kingdom is accessible, close enough to touch. You must continually bring healing to lepers and to those who are sick, and to make it your habit to break off the demonic presence of people and raise the dead back to life. Freely you have received the power of the kingdom, so freely release it to others. You won't need a lot of money. Travel light. Don't even pack an extra change of clothes in your backpack. Trust God for everything, because the one who works for him deserves to be provided. So right there it shares that if you're working for the Lord, he will provide for you because you deserve it, because you're working for that. Let me read. That is 10. So Matthew 10, verse 7 through 10. So let me read 10 again. Travel light, and don't even pack an extra change of clothes in your backpack. Trust God for everything, because the one who works for him deserves to be provided for. That's the Passion Translation. Let me go with the New King James Version. So 7. It says, "Go, as you go, preach, saying, the kingdom of heaven is at hand. Heal the sick, cleanse the lepers, raise the dead, cast out demons. Freely you have received, freely give. Provide neither gold nor silver nor copper in your money belts, nor bag for your journey, nor two tunics, nor sandals, nor staff, for a worker is worthy of his food." If you go to Luke, I know Luke 10 is about the 70, and that's what the Lord originally sent us out with. So let me read that. It is, again, it's kind of funny. It is Luke 7 through 9, I believe. Let me read it again. It says, "Don't shift from one house to another, but stay in one home during your time in that city. Eat and drink whatever they serve you. Receive their hospitality, for you are my harvester, and you deserve to be cared for." Actually, that's just 7. 8 goes here. When you enter into a new town, and you have been welcomed by its people, follow these rules. Eat what is served, heal the sick, and tell them all God's kingdom has arrived and is now within your reach. So again, in Luke 10, verse 7, it says that that the harvesters deserve to be cared for. So if we're going out and doing our Heavenly Father's business, he is going to take care of us. Let me go again to, I know it's another one in Luke, when he sends out his 12, so give me a second, I gotta figure out where it's at. I don't know all these off the top of my head. That was one reason why I said about not being a preacher, because most preachers I see, they can seem to rattle these things off at the top of their head, but I can't seem to do that. Yet. My wife's yelling in the background, yet. Oh, I want to read this one. It just came up. The true family of God. So, Jesus, because this is one of my favorite passages, because it's where Jesus tells us that he's our brother or son. So listen to this. And Jesus' mother and his brothers came to where Jesus was teaching, but they couldn't get through the crowd that had gathered around him. Someone told Jesus, "Your mother and brothers are standing outside waiting to speak with you." Jesus told the crowd, "These who come to listen to me are like my mother and my brothers. They're the ones who long to hear God's words and put them into practice." So if you're longing to hear God's word and wanting to put them into practice, you are considered a mother or brothers or sisters to Christ. Think about that. Here it is. And this one says sends out. So, Luke 9 says this. Take nothing extra on your journey. Just go as you are. Don't carry a staff, a backpack, food, money, not even a change of clothes. Whatever home welcomes you as a guest, remain there and make it your base of ministry. And wherever your ministry is rejected, you are to leave the town and shake the dust off your shoes as a testimony before them. So, again, it's saying that the Lord will provide for us as we go. There is an exception I saw in Luke 24, I believe it is. Let me double check. Nope, it's 22 then. I'm pretty sure. Sorry for the big gap. I try not to do that too often, but maybe it's 21. I know it's here. It's where he says about I'm sorry. I'll try to full paying taxes. I know where. I thought it was 24. I thought I had it highlighted on here. Okay, I think it's this one here. It's in 22. Okay, he prophesies a denial. Okay, here it is. It is 22. It's 22, verse 35. It says, "Then he said to them, when I sent you out empty-handed, did you lack nothing? Did you lack anything? Not a thing," they answered. "God provided all we needed." Jesus said, "But now I say to you, take what you need. If you have money, take it, and a knapsack, and a sword. Danger is intimate. For this prophetic scripture about me, he will be accused of being a criminal, will now come to pass. All that was prophesied about me will be fulfilled." The disciples told him, "Lord, we already have 2 swords." And some of them Jesus said, "That's enough." And that was the response of Jesus. Here, let me go back to the New King James Version on that one. Maybe that's where I have it. It says in the New King James, chapter 22, 35 through 38. It says, "And he said to them, when I sent you out without money bag, knapsack, sandals, did you lack anything?" They said nothing. So they said nothing. Then he said to them, "But now he who has a money bag, let him take it, and likewise a knapsack. And he who has no sword, let him sell his garment and buy one. For I say to you that which is written must still be accomplished in me. And he has numbered with the transgressors. For the things concerning me have an end." So the Lord said, "Look, look." So they said, "Lord, look, here are 2 swords." And he said to them, "It is enough." And so we see where the Lord will provide for us. He does tell us to take money at that point. But as long as we're doing what the Lord asks us to do and we're going out to share the gospel and pray for people, the Lord gave me those verses to comfort me and to let me know that he's going to provide for me all that I need. Because I am a harvester, my family and I are harvesters for him. And we're going out and we're taking care of what the Lord asks us to take care of. And we've had people, and you ask about those verses, we've had people give us a place to stay. We've had people invite us into their house. We've had people give us food and shelter and showers. We've had people ask if they could pay for us to have a hotel room. All those things have been taken care of for us. And yes, there's times where I get nearsighted and see where I'm at in my circumstances with the car situation. With buying that it was a new car to us. It was a 2018 in 2022 of February when we bought it. It was a 2018 Dodge. 2021. When we bought it in February 2021. It was new to us. It was a 2018 Dodge Durango. It only had 42,000 miles on it. A little over 42,000. It cost us $31,000. It was the newest thing that I ever bought. And I said to my wife and my kids, we're going to take extremely good care of it. I had plans on buying the WeatherTech seat covers and floor, and made sure it would, it was going to look real nice. And the Lord then sent us out in September and had us gather stuff and get ready and get rid of stuff throughout the whole process. And what you see on the back, that trailer, is what we have left of all the things that we've had in our house, except for a few things that are here at my parents' house. Before I left, we had a 3-bedroom house. It had a basement that was mostly finished. I had a job, I said, at the post office. I was making about $55,000 a year. I had the job that we needed. I know my wife and my kids had health issues until we decided to go give the direction for obedience. When we decided to go, the Lord blessed us with being able to sell our house, and we made a profit. We made $77,000. And so we had our money back. But when we went and we left, the Lord had us give it to people. He had us give it to organizations, to people who were in need, to churches, and for the use of at the beginning of what we needed. I think it was just to get us to the point that we would trust Him, and for us to teach, and for Him to teach us to listen. And then December of 2021, we ran out of that money, and the Lord has provided for us ever since. I just got sent from our friend David Soros a prophecy about this one person, Prophet Tony, I think he said it was, about trusting in poverty. And I can tell you right now that the Lord, when my wife and I were talking about this, and we said, do you realize we freely went into this? We freely gave up all we had to go into poverty. To go into we are homeless, if you think about it. I have my address right now at my parents' house. And we've been traveling the country, but I don't have an address of my own. Really. And we're traveling. And my family and I are traveling. And don't take this the wrong way at all. I want to use this as a testimonial. But I don't think I would change it at all. I am proud of what we've done. I'm proud of what the Lord has done for us. I'm proud of our testimonies that the Lord has provided for me. I'm proud of the fact that the Lord has taught me how to trust Him, and I'm still learning how to trust Him. There are times where my circumstances still look bigger than what He is, but He's teaching me in every moment that we face, that He is bigger. And He will always do what He says He's going to do. He will always keep His promises that He said He's going to promise. And sometimes I know there's people out there facing the same trials. And I know there's other people who are thinking about being hopeless. But I'm telling you, do not leave. Don't wither your hope away. Keep it. Keep it. I'm hearing to go to Malachi 3. I want to read this one section. It's called the Book of Remembrance in the New King James Version. Malachi 3:16 through 18. It says, "And those who feared the Lord spoke to one another, and the Lord listened